Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining in. I do lock and lifestyle content. If you're interested in those videos, please stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so today I wanted to get a little bit more intimate with you guys. Wanted to do a close-up of my locks. And I think this is something that I wanted to see more of when I was, especially during that first year, to kind of get an idea of whether or not something was actually going on with my locks or if the right things were happening with my locks. Especially for those that interlock, I think a lot of times we are concerned about the look of the indentations or thin part of the locks, whether we decide to go the retwisting route or the interlocking route, that we're happy with the overall look of our locks. So I want to be really transparent with you guys and let you know that either way you decide to go, frequency matters and the density of your hair matters. So be very aware of those things before choosing a method. But I want to let you know that my hair is medium density, but my strands are thin. So that's to kind of give you a reference point as to why you will see what you will see very shortly. So first things first, I started out my hair with two-strand twists. I mean, that's usually what I tell everybody, but truth be told, guys, I actually braided my roots and then twisted the length of the hair. So I kind of wanted to make sure that the twist wouldn't unravel at the root. I did 2 or 3 rounds of braiding before, I did 3 or 4 rounds of braiding before actually twisting my hair up. I didn't know about interlocking at the time. I think if I had known about interlocking, I probably would have twisted and then interlocked the roots. But yeah, I knew that I wanted the twist in and they were not going to come out. And I wanted to secure them the best way I knew at the time. I do actually see a difference. Now, I do not see a braid pattern in my locks, but I do see more, it just looks more condensed. I can tell that I can tell where I braided and then when I started to twist. Not on all of the locks, but on some of them, and I will show you where. So let me give you a brief catch up on my journey if this happens to be the first time that you're seeing me and my content. Hello, welcome. I retwisted for the first 6 or 7 months of my journey, but full stop. Around the 4th month, I did interlock my perimeter because my perimeter is a lot looser. I was noticing that the retwist was just not sustainable. So I decided that I was going to interlock. After the 4-month mark, after I kind of surveyed the perimeter of my hair and said, oh, interlocking is working for me. It's holding my twist together and they seem secure. I'm not having any issues with washing or when I wash. And then at the 6-month mark is when I decided to go full steam ahead with interlocking my entire head. So from that point on, I'm to almost 3 years locked at this point, and my hair has been, for the majority of the time, has been interlocked. So I'm going to pull out certain locks and have you guys look at them. I'll kind of break down, I guess, its anatomy and let you know what you're seeing, what I think happened. Yeah. So at the very front, you can see that I still have these bulky parts, which I think were just twists that ended up, these were just twists that ended up bunching and budding. I eventually think it's gonna thin out. Some people did tell me that it would eventually, but it just hasn't happened yet, and I'm okay with that. But as you can see at the top, it gets thinner. And I believe this is where the braids were. And then as you can see, it gets back thick again around this area. So yeah, my shrinkage was really real, but this was my start. This is what I started with basically. And then the rest of it has been interlocked. So, I'm sorry. I need some. Yeah, it's definitely thicker at the top, and then that's where the braid was. Now, I also did experience some postpartum shedding, and that is very apparent in a couple locks. Let me see. If I turn down the light, yeah, will it make a difference? It might. Yes.
Is that gray hair? Jesus. Have mercy.
Okay, so this lock was actually combined, and it ended up being flat in this area here. I lost, and it's the same on this, on the opposite side of my head, like these areas right here had to combine. But you can see the big bulge here is like just shed hair from the postpartum hair loss. And I mean, the locks had just thinned out so much that, I mean, they don't look too bad now, but you can see that bulge. First baby, you can kind of see it all kind of smoothed out, so I'm hoping that that will happen for this one as well. Yeah, see, this was braided really tightly here, and it ended up being smaller than the top. And then as you go up, you see that it's gotten smaller. Not necessarily because of interlocking, I just think that's just the texture of my hair. In certain areas, it's just not as dense. This one's doing something really wonky because it gets really small right here, and then it puffs out. I think I waited a while before I interlocked. And then you can see the interlocking part right there. But eventually, guys, all this frizz, I've seen it happen with other locks. Like all this frizz eventually, I don't know, thickens up the lock at some point. So all I do is just keep winding it around like a thinner area of the lock. But I never feel like, oh yeah, my locks are gonna snap off. I don't ever get that feeling. There are some ends that still aren't locked, so that's there. What else do I want to show you guys? I did a very light retwist in the front of my hair, so that's why it looks sorta kinda together, but guys, don't be fooled. Yeah, another bulky end here. This one is like, I really don't like this one. I feel like this is my least favorite lock. And that's because of that postpartum shedding. I lost a lot of hair there, and you see that bulb. And then that little part where it squeezes looks like the number 8 to me. But this part that it gets tight is where it was interlocked, and then right back at the more hair probably came out at that point, but had to combine as well. So from a distance, a lot of times you won't be able to tell people's like mishaps with their locks or whatever, but that up close really does give you more of a perspective that nobody's locks are perfect. And I mean, I wish I could go through my whole head with you guys and really like inspect them for you. Like this lock is it's so skinny, but then it feels so strong. Like it's not, turn it up a But all of them, for the most part, if I started with I did start with two-strand twists. These were combined. Both of these colored were combined. You can see almost a two-strand pattern at that. But all my locks that I combined, especially at my perimeter, this one was combined, imagine. All the locks that I combined at my perimeter, the two-strand pattern had definitely disappeared by at least 6-7 months in after the combining happened. See, okay, and this is what I think will happen to the rest of the locks that have like this bulgy end, that eventually it will start to, because this one was bulgy all the way down, and then slowly the end started to thin out, you know, and then this part is still bulgy. So I'm assuming that the hair will eventually start evening out, not thin out. It will eventually even out. It will. That's my prayer, that's my hope. But if it doesn't happen, it's still all good. Same thing here. Eventually it just starts to even out. Eventually starts to even out at the end, and it starts moving up the lock. And you know what's funny, guys? I have, is it this one? Yeah. So I know you guys can't see this, but this treble lock again is, see, there's color. My color stops like right here, but then you can see like brown pieces of hair even all the way up here. So that tells you that the hair moves. The hair is moving. The hair is active. The hair is doing its thing. It's moving up and down the lock, finding space, filling in gaps, and just eventually evening out the lock. It is going to even out itself. So I'm not worried about them at all. The hair is doing stuff, okay? The hair is working. The hair is busy. Don't think that your hair is not doing anything, or it's not, it might not be working on your schedule, honey, but the hair is working, and it's doing what it's meant to do, which is fill in gaps, thicken up, even out. Yeah, I still have those bulky ends. So the hair will definitely do what it needs to do. Don't worry. Some parts look bumpy and lumpy and uneven. I'm trusting the process. It's still going on even 2 years plus. The process is still happening. I know that I'm not at my final destination yet. So continue to be patient with yourself, be patient with your hair, and it will do its thing. Honestly, if you're interlocking the right way, you shouldn't really have any issues with your locks. So be advised, if you're retwisting the right way, you shouldn't have any issues with your locks. So technique matters more than the method. It's the technique and the frequency that ultimately determines the look of your locks. So hope this helps somebody out there. You have bumpy and lumpy locks. It's okay. It's working itself out. So you need to just sit back and chill. All right, till the next time. Bye.